Good morning, all of you. Myself, Dr. Sudharani. Today, I am going to explain about the virtual private practical session on virtual private clouds, how to create the virtual private clouds, how to create the routing tables, how to create the gateways, how to create the security groups. So, in today's session, we are going to discuss about all these things. Before going to start the practical session, let me explain what are the virtual machines. And then we can go for the practical session. Then it will be easy for us to understand. So first, virtualization. So here we have to know two things. What is a virtualization and what are the virtual machines? So the cloud is nothing but it is a virtualization platform. Cloud itself is a virtualization platform where it is to connect with many virtual machines. So virtualization is a technology that you can use to create virtual representations of servers, storage, networks, and other physical machines. So by using the virtualization, we can create our own server storages network. This already I explained in my previous lecture, how to create the virtual servers, as well as I even explain you how to create the virtual memory on our virtual machines also. Today, we are going to discuss about what is a virtual private cloud and what are the things we have to create the virtual private cloud. So, virtualization is technology where we can create the virtual representation of servers, storage, networks, and other physical machines. Virtual softwares mimics the function of physical hardware to run multiple virtual machines simultaneously on a single physical machine. So by using the virtualization, we can parallelly work on n number of the devices. So this was also proved, we also proven this by creating the virtual servers. Fine. So while we created the virtual servers, we seen how to parallelly run two or more virtual servers at a time. So this was already we discussed in the previous lectures. And business use virtualization to use their hardware resources efficiently and get greater returns from their investment. It also powers cloud computing services that help organization manage infrastructure more efficiently. The first usage of the cloud is always the IaaS. I strongly believe that IaaS is the most useful service where the customers used to depend on the cloud. So that is nothing but infrastructure as a service. So we can share the infrastructure of the cloud by paying very less cost. Now, coming to the part of what are the virtual machines. The working principles of virtual machines. So, whatever the devices we are using to connect to the cloud, through which device we are connecting and we are using the infrastructure of the cloud, that devices are called as a virtual machine. For example, now I am working on my laptop. My laptop, were connected to the cloud. My laptop now is called as a virtual machine. For example, if you are working through your phone, like when you are accessing your Google Photos through your phone, that phone is called as virtual machine because it is connected to the cloud. As well as if you are working with the desktops or if you are working with the tabs where you are connecting to the cloud, that is also called as a virtual machines. So after installing virtualization software, you can create one or more virtual machines. That is called as what? In virtualization or the virtual machines. So once the virtualization is installed, so here I didn't install any particular software to run the virtualization, but the cloud itself is inbuilt of the virtualization software where to support the infrastructures for the users. Virtual machines are accessed like other applications on your computer. Your physical computer running the virtualization software is called the host. Each virtual machine is referred to as guest. So, for example, in our previous experiment, I shown you how to create the virtual desktop or how to create the virtual windows. So I created only one virtual window, but parallelly we can create n number of virtual windows. So what will happen here? My laptop, which is my base, which I am using the virtualization, can be called as the host. From where I used to give the control, or from where I used to connect different virtual machines like virtual windows. So I created one virtual window, like I can create a number of virtual windows, but the host will be only one where the origin will start, like my laptop. But by the instructions of one host, we can create a number of virtual machines. Means the devices which are connected to the cloud can be defined as the virtual machines. Virtual machines are accessed like other applications on our computer. Your physical computer running the virtualization software is called as the host, as I said, and each virtual machine is referred as a guest. Multiple guests can run concurrently on a single host. So whatever the virtual environment, whatever the virtual windows we are creating through our laptop by one virtualization can be called as the guest. So one host can be communicated with n number of guests parallelly. Each guest has its independent operating system, which can differ from or be the same as the host operating system. For example, I'm using, while connected to the virtualization or while connected to the cloud, I operate the operating system as Linux. But I used to create my virtual windows again by using the Windows. One virtual window can be created by window. One more virtual window, that is one more guest, can be created by Linux. One more virtual machine can be created by Ubuntu. So there is no constraint that the operating system should be same for all the host and the guest parallelly. We may work on the different operating systems also. The guest may not be need to follow whatever the host is following the operating system. The working principle of virtual machines. A virtual machine functions like a typical physical server, complete with its settings, configurations, and installed applications. So the virtual machine also just like the physical server only. I shown you already when I created the virtual window, I shown you all the settings, all the operations, and all the options in that virtual window is also same like our host operating, like our host system. So whatever the options I am having, how can I Google something, how can I download something, everything you can also do from your virtual machine. Computing resources like CPU, RAM, storage within a virtual machine appears and functions identically to those on a physical server. So we also seen that the virtual machine, like the virtual windows, is also having the memory, where we can even extend the memory for that virtual machine. So we can download the documents, we can store the files, we can use internet, we can browse something, and we can do everything on our virtual machines also. Guest operating system and their applications can be configured and updated independently without impacting the host operating system. So just now I said that myself, when I am connecting to the virtualization, I opted the operating system as Linux. But when I am creating some virtual machines and when I am connecting some virtual machines, it may not be need the virtual machines is also have to use only Linux operating system. They can go with the Windows, they can go with the Ubuntu and Mac. See here, hypervisory. Up to now, I'm telling virtualization software, virtualization installment, but installation. But actually, what is the software we are using to install the virtualization? Hypervisory is the virtualization software that we have to install on our physical machine. It is a software layer that acts as an intermediary between the virtual machine and the underlying hardware or host operating system. The hypervisory coordinates access to the physical environment so that several virtual machines have access to their share of physical resources. So see the hypervisory. So hypervisor is a software to run the virtualization on our devices. These are the virtual machines and we are having networking, storage, management, security and monitoring. Okay. And coming to the Docker containers, Kubernetes or something related to the hypervisory. And if time supports, we will go with this session separately. Now let us move to the practical part of what is the virtual machines and how to create the virtual private cloud. Okay, now we'll start our AWS console. Start the lab. So yellow dot indicates it is getting ready, setting all the files to open the AWS console. So when the network is slow, it takes a little bit of time to connect. If the network is fast, immediately used to connect. Now it got connect. So we got the green dot. Click on the green dot. Okay, so we got here. See, already I worked on the VPC, so here it is displaying as the VPC. But every time I used to tell, whenever we want to work on the new things, we have to click on the search bar where you can type whatever the thing you want. I want VPC. So see here, isolated cloud resources. I got to create the VPC. So these are the things we have to create again: subnets, root table, internet gateways. This also we have to create by using the VPC only. So first, let us click on the VPC. Okay. See the environment of the VPC. First, you try to sort out all the options of VPC environment. Then we can go with the creation of the VPC. So before going to create the first, we have to create the EC2. Then we have to go to the VPC. So why we have to launch the EC2 means, so here after creating, see here, right side tab, if you see here to create one virtual private cloud, we have to create VPC, subnet, routing tables, internet gateways, as well as where we are having security groups. We have to create security groups. Everything we have to create by our own. So means we are designing our own virtual private cloud. Fine. So to create all these things, one common thing should be there. That is what? EC2. So by using EC2, we can easily connect all the different things. So now launch the create already. Okay. So give the EC2 name my V service me because now I'm using VPC, so I'm giving my V service. Today's date is what? 2404. Fine. So next, go with Windows operating system. Go with the Windows operating system. Allow HTTPs. Okay, next go to launch instance. So you can go with the existing key pair. If key pairs are there, we can go with any key pair, or you can also select go without key pair. That option is also there. Okay. Okay, now instance was connected, instance was launched. We have to go again back. So here is the tab. Now we have to go back to the VPC. Click on create VPC. So I'm clicking on VPC only. I want to create only VPC. And see here it is asking the name tag. So whatever we are creating now, so it's better to create with the tag of today's date, my VPC 240426. This is my VPC name which I given now. So see here IPv4 CIDR. So give whatever it is having 10.0.0.0/24. So your network is connected to how many bits it is asking. Now VPC encryption model, none. Fine. Now click on create VPC. See here VPC was created successfully, and with VPC ID, main network ACL, state, block, public access, DNS host name, DNS resolution, tenancy, DHCP, main route table, main network ACL, default VPC, IPv4C, IPv4 CIDR. Now what we taken, the same is displaying here. Okay, so these are the parameters of VPC. So VPC was successfully created now. Click this. The VPC completed. Now next one, go to the subnets. See this, so many subnets are there where I created. See, these are still there means we should understand that our dollars are consuming very fastly. So try to remove subnets, delete subnets. See, some subnets cannot be deleted. 4 out of 6 subnets cannot be deleted. To delete the remaining 2 subnets, first make the following changes. You can refresh each section when you are done. So what is happening? So some 4 subnets still they are not removing, will be deleted, but don't know when they will be deleted. So just click on refresh. See, all are, we will try to delete this one because this is recently created. Select actions, manage, view, edit, delete. So delete, we have to give the command as delete. Is it deleted? No, still 6 are there. Okay, so first let us see how to create the subnet. Go to create subnet. See here, this is very important. Already we created the VPC, right? So that VPC has to be displayed here. Then only you are creating the subnet to the particular VPC. If that VPC name is not displaying here means you not created your VPC properly. So now this see, so this is my VPC. That's why I used to tell give the proper dates. So if you not given the proper dates and if you simply given some names, at this time you may confuse which VPC you created now. So that is the problem. So that's why I used to tell to give the proper name always. See, this is my today's 2404. This is my VPC. So click on VPC. It means you are creating the subnet to the particular VPC which we created now. Okay, so and C, CID are also the same. Okay. Now we have to give the subnet name. So let's give the subnet name also. My sub, what is today's date? 24/04/26. This is my subnet. And check the availability zone. Availability zone, you can go with anything. Okay. And IPv4, let us give IPv6, IPv4 subnet block also same. IPv4 VPC CIDR block we already given. Now let us give IPv4 subnet block also same like that only. 0.24. There it is showing as 28, but no, let's give 24 only. Keypad is optional. And now click on create subnet. Must be valid before. Acha, here I given as dot. This is slash. Okay. So you have successfully created one subnet. So we created VPC, we also created subnet. See here now, the subnet is showing, the previous ones are there or there. Okay, fine. So VPC completed, subnet is also completed. Next one is the root table. So we have to create root table also. Let's see the root table. See, my old root tables are also there. Delete root table. To delete, again we have to give the command as delete. Okay, so still we are having many root tables connected to it. So, if the root tables are connected to any EC2 and we forget that the root tables are connected and we are trying to delete that instance EC2, it won't delete it. Why? Because this is the reason. So, yeah, some subnets or some VPCs or some anything is connected to that is connected to that EC2. So that's why they are not deleted. Now let's create the routing table. Again, click on root table. So give your root table name. I'm giving my root table today's date 24/04/26. See here, now I am creating my root table. Root table of what? Root table of particular VPC. Okay, so means here you should get that VPC name also. Let's see. Yeah, this is my VPC which I created today. So if you are not getting the name here in the list means you are not created properly. Now select your today's VPC which you created. I selected my VPC name and now click on create. Okay, so the root table is also successfully created. Root table also successfully created. So we can see VPC, this is the VPC information. This is a subnet in the particular VPC. And this is a root table in the particular VPC. See the connection to this VPC. Subnet 1 is created and it is connected to the particular root table. And coming to the subnet, this is today's subnet. So in the subnet, we are going to check. We created subnet, we created root table. Now we are going to link up between the particular root table and the subnet. So click on edit root table. Okay, so here we have to now we are connecting our root table to the subnet, right? So here the root table, we should give a root table name. So this is my, see, don't be confused here what I am doing in subnet. In subnet, I am connecting my root table. So in subnet, I click on the option as root table and in that root table ID, I have to get my root table ID. So I got my root table ID. That's why I used to tell to maintain today's date. So root table, save. So I connected my subnet to particular root table. And now if we see the root tables, see now, this my root table is explicit to the subnet of this one. Okay, now my root table was connected to the particular subnet. Now go to means subnets are connected to VPC, root tables are connected to the subnets. Go to the internet gateways. Now click on create internet gateway. Again, give the internet gateway name. You can give my internet gateway 240426. Okay, fine. So click on create internet gateway. Internet gateway was, see now, your internet gateway was created and it is asking to attach to a VPC. Means see, one thing is connected to the main VPC. So my internet gateway is going connected to the attached to the VPC. So now again, what we have to get here, I'm connecting to my VPC, have to get my VPCs. That is today which I created my VPCs. Okay, so attach internet gateway. So now I connected subnet, I to VPC, I connected routing table to subnet, means indirectly routing table is connected to the VPC, and I created internet gateway, and even I connected my internet gateway to the VPC also. Next, security groups. Okay, so we have to create our own security groups. Click on create security group. So we have to add the outbound rules. So we can add any kind of rules and click on here we have to go to the security group, my security group 240426. Description, you can give any kind of description. I am simply giving as allows. And here the VPC again, so I have to keep select particular VPC. Okay. And click on create security groups. Okay, so now my security group is also created. Go to the VPCs. See what are my VPCs. See, this is my VPC which I created now. I select the VPC and just see the information. See, this is my VPC, this is my subnet, this is my route table. Okay, so this is the theme how we are going to create the VPC, subnets, route tables, internet gateways, and the security groups from the AWS console. I hope you all people understand today's class. Thank you.